Hey everybody, this is the Count. I'm doing a tutorial on the Suds slide. It was found by Suds McDuff. Very unique trick, very crazy discovery. Thanks to him for finding it. I'm going to just go straight into the trick right now, talk about more of the important stuff right now. I'll talk about the details of the trick after I get the main part of it done, and then I'll talk about the less important stuff at the end. So we're just going to get straight into it. You want to find a room that's 10 units high, exactly. And you're gonna want to probably just knock out all the guards, KO them. I'm doing the running interference basement. You can do the running interference. You can do the second level. The hallway up there is also not bad as well. I like this area because it's long, but it's also not narrow. It's kind of wider, so I don't have to worry about running into stuff. Especially when I was first learning it. This is where I learned it. So once you do that, make a save state. My keyboard is going to be middle mouse button is block. V is lean forward. Q is lean left, and spacebar is jump. Okay, that's going to be important to know. What you're going to want to do is block, look down. You just angle it down, maybe 45, just a little bit less. You can just angle it down a bit. That's the most important thing, is just angling it down. Walk forward, lean forward. You can't lean forward then walk forward because it cancels out the lean forward. So you're going to block, walk forward, lean forward. Let that lean fully extend before you do the next part, which is important, the hardest part. Even though the trick's not crazy hard in general. But it's going to be block, walk forward, lean forward, and the next part is going to be lean left and then jump. And you're basically going to lean left and then jump. I want to say basically the same time, but your lean left's going to be ever so slightly faster than the jump button. Alright, so this is what it's going to look like. Alright, so I got to right about here, which is actually good. Okay, so that's pretty far. That's a good one. Let's go over real quick what happens when you get a bad one. Okay, so when you get cut short on your slide, you're not getting the distance you need. It has to do with your lean forward. You're not letting that fully extend out, or you're letting go of it too soon, is what you're doing. Alright, so like right there, I'm not letting it play out the whole way, and I'm also letting go of it too soon. And I get right about here. Okay, so we saw earlier with the good one that I'm getting right here. This is good. This area is good. Right, so that's a huge difference, especially for an IL. Another way you can mess up too is if you hold the jump button down too long. So if I'm doing it and I'm holding it down the whole time, I'm slowly going to warp back to where I'm going and mantle the blackjack. Right, so that's another one. So, and if you let go of it instantly after you kind of mess it up already, you warp back instantaneously. So you can, if you hold on to it the whole time, you'll go back slow. If you let go of it after you already mess it up, you'll warp back instantaneously. So that's what happens there. All right. The last one is going to be is if you hit the jump button too late. You basically go to the left, or as you saw the first time, I angled off to the left towards the boxes. So you either go full on to the left or angle it to the left. So if you're wondering, what's going on, why am I messing it up? Basically, now you know how to work on that. Okay. It just takes some practice. It's not crazy hard to do. It just takes some practice, and it's very consistent. And to get really good ones, it's a little bit more. I would say it's slightly harder, but not really that hard. Okay? If you're under an area that's less than 10, this is what'll happen. Okay, so you're just gonna jump. You're not gonna hear anything. But if you're able to, hear it or try to hear the mantling noise, or if you move forward a little bit, then that means you can do it in that area. And that's what I've been doing. Just testing certain areas out when I've been kind of going through each level. Okay, this area over here is the only area that I know of that you cannot do it, where it stops you instantaneously. So you can do it any direction, and it just stops you. Okay, I don't know why it does that. So you cannot do it here. You have to do it out here a little bit more. Okay, I'm not exactly sure why. There are little hiccups right here, like you can kind of see. Like that's a hiccup right there. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. There's little hiccups just in this area in general. I don't know what that's caused by. I know how to execute this trick pretty well, but I do not fully understand how it works and why this doesn't work as well. Okay, I know you're trying to mantle the blackjack and it somehow throws you forward instead of actually mantling it. That's basically what I know. That's my extent to the knowledge of the trick. But I don't know anything more than that. I just know how to execute it properly, and it's consistent. So when you're coming down this hallway, when it's more narrow, just make sure you're coming straight. All right. Don't try to like come around the corner, angle it off, and then you'll get close to an object or a wall, then you'll just kind of stop like that. The straighter that you are, you'll come down this hallway, and you can get pretty far down here. Okay, so when you're doing this part right here, you want to come around the corner and do it like right about here, like I was talking about. Don't do it really fast, even though your intuition's gonna want to do it fast to save time, but it's just gonna stop you basically. So that's what you want to do there. Okay, I'll show you with the guards there what it does. So when you're doing it with the guards, you actually are invisible when you do this trick. So not only is it nice for the distance you get, the time save that you get, but it's actually, you're invisible, and that's very useful too as well. So those guards don't mess you up on the way back. Let's go to bank. And I'm going to show a few things over here as well, and then I'll be done. Real quick, this trick saves anywhere from about a little half a second to about a second or so with the time save. I did a time over here. I did this, and I timed it out from right there to basically the end of this hallway, walking and doing the 2 slides, and it's 2 seconds faster. So it's about a second for each slide then at that point, okay? Running interference went from about a minute or so to 53 seconds, which is pretty huge for an IL. And full game is going to save some time as well too. I still have to kind of route out the rest of the game and add them into other ILs as well. Okay, so this part right here, you're going to want to come out here. You can do it here. Alright, so you can do the slide here. You cannot do it here. But you can do it under the light. So there's a little area, specific area that you can do it under, okay? So when you come out of here, I try to do like a shorter one. That's kind of that's too far. I want to try to do a little bit of a shorter one. And then I want to do a larger one there, okay? I'm not sure why that doesn't work out for me. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's the lean forward or if it's just me not being completely under the light, but that one probably gives me some trouble sometimes. I'm not sure why. So basically what I did there is, short and then shorter one and then longer one like I just did, okay? Going to the next part over here. So there's some areas like tunnels and stuff that you can do it in. So I can't do it on this part of the tunnel, okay, so it's not 10 units, but the middle of the tunnel is 10 units. So that's kind of nice. So what I try to do here is I try to start on like the left side of the middle, and I try to angle it over to the right side towards that wall, is what I try to do. So like right there, like even a little bit, like this is probably optimal right here. Like you can actually fly off here. You can, hit the wall, kind of land here. But ideally what you want to do is start on the left middle and then kind of get right about there. Okay, so if you have an area like, other areas that you see that are similar to this, try to do the same thing then, just to optimize it. There's a few more things I want to go over. Okay, the next one is going to be this right here. I actually did 2 slides right here when I could have done 1, because I did not know you can actually basically hover / levitate over while you're doing it. So I did not do, oh, that got cut short. That was my fault. You can actually just levitate over gaps then at that point, which I did not know about. Okay, so if you go over a gap and stuff, you just fall like that if you're not gonna, get on another platform. But if you make it long enough and your ending point is on the same platform, you'll just kind of hover over it. I basically went from here to here, and then I went forward, okay, which, loses minimal time, but I'll come back to the IL later at some point in time. I definitely want to grind down the Thief 1 and Thief 2 ILs in full games that I have, but not all at the same time, just slowly start grinding them down. The next thing is Psychosis actually found out that you can actually do it like in a, so this little doorway here, you cannot do it, right? But if you crouch, you're able to do it. So you can do it here and save minimal time. That was a bad one. Okay, so that's another thing too. Just make sure that you're blocking before you crouch, because you can't crouch and then block because you stand back up. So, alright, and you can basically get to the wall on a good one. So like right there. So I basically just got to the wall. Which will save less time than a regular one, but more time if you just, I would say if you're going W and A or W and D, you save more time than doing it that way. probably a little bit. I haven't timed it out, but I'm pretty sure it saves a little bit more time than doing that. Okay. So just trying to think about if there's anything else. If there's anything else I need to talk about, I think that's about it. Trying to think. Basically, I just spent about a week, a little over a week, doing this, with a good amount of hours each day, as well doing it. And you know, my wrists were hurting. I was frustrated. I didn't know what was going on because it's a very, you know, unique trick. It's a very awkward trick. So there's like 3 or 4 different variations of the trick that I was doing, and I found out this way was the best one to do it, and just the most consistent way. And it was just, I don't know, it's less taxing on my hands too than the other ones as well. So you know, the amount of hours I put in, I want to try to make sure that I learn stuff. Not only just memorize it, but the understanding of a trick too is very important for retaining that knowledge and kind of using it for later too as well, as opposed to just memorizing the inputs. And I also want to, you know, make sure I give back to the community and let other people know so they don't get discouraged from running if there's new, you know, a new trick that comes out, or if someone new is, you know, to the community. I want to make sure. So I will be making more Thief 1 and Thief 2 tutorials, you know, in the near future. And I think that's about it. You know, it's just is what it is. And I'm just, you know, I'm just thankful that I can put the amount of hours into this game that I put in. And, you know, I feel like in having that opportunity, I should, you know, I guess help out by making tutorials. I wasn't really doing it at first because I was kind of nervous about making tutorials. I thought they're gonna be shit, but you know, it's we'll see how it goes. So that's about it. So yeah, just, you know, look for I'll be making more tutorials later in the near future, and that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, just leave a comment or anything like that. If you have any questions on anything, and yeah, have a good one. Thanks for watching. All right, take care.